it's fun.
First off, I mean, I just want to say thank you to Coach Simmons and his team. And knew coming in that they were going to be better than what their record was last year. Really liked some of the things that they do from an offensive standpoint. I thought they played really hard, and so it was almost a perfect game where we could where we got challenged enough, but at the same time where we could kind of figure some things out in that first game. And so I thought it worked out really well, and look forward to watching their team and watching watching their program grow. But I thought we did a really good job of understanding the game plan. We knew that you come in a game like this, and if you don't take the opponent seriously, you can end up being in a real dogfight. And I thought our guys had a really mature approach, which hopefully would be the case with a team as experienced as we are, and fought through some cramps and fought through some of those things. But the beauty of this team is that you have the ability to, when you go to the bench, I mean, there's zero drop off, and I thought it was really good for. Jeremiah played really well. They tried to kind of not guard him there, and I mean, I guess they probably hadn't seen our practice stats where J.O.'s shooting 60% from the three, and so it was good for him to see the ball go in. I need him to be more aggressive this year, and I thought he really did that before he went into full body cramp mode. And then the new guys, first off, Caden Powell is a guy that our scrimmages. He takes about three or four charges. He's a guy that we're going to really need as the season moves forward with his ability to guard and defend. He can really defend in the ball screen. He's an elite position defender. He's an elite screener, and so for him just to get some of those minutes, and I would like for him to get more minutes, but for him, he can go really, really hard, and then he just crashes and burns. But luckily, we have the depth to offset that. And I thought, Ethan did a tremendous job being the guy that, really running the show. And you saw that with his, he's almost, near a triple-double. But, for my challenge to him is can he play hard, can he play longer with the same effort? And I think that right now he's at about 3 minutes, which is up from about 2 minutes, and need him to be a guy that can go from right now where he's maybe 22 to 24, but up to 28 minutes a game. And then I thought Max did a really good job, especially that stretch in the second half when we kind of broke it open. And then as I've said, Jake is a guy that he hasn't played in a couple years, and for him, he needed a game like this to see the ball go in the basket, just to get his rhythm back. And I thought for us, we really got a lot of things that we needed to get out of this game. And now we got election day tomorrow, so we have the day off, and then we'll move forward to Nicholls State on Thursday.
What did you really want to see tonight?
Well, I wanted to see a win. I wanted to see that first and foremost, but just wanted to see, as we always talk about, I mean, all we can control is the one possession. And I thought from a defensive standpoint, we did a really good job of pressuring them out. We normally don't pressure like that on a normal basis, but based off of what we needed to do to kind of take them out of their rhythm, I thought we did that. And then from an offensive standpoint, we've really been trying to play with a little bit faster pace with our depth. And I thought we did a really good job of sharing the ball. We had some really open looks in the first half that didn't go in, but I thought our guys did a really good job of making the extra pass, getting to that second or third action. And when we do that, we're pretty hard to guard.
Were you overall pretty pleased with the shot selection, considering how many guys were coming in and out? And that sort of thing?
Yeah, and that's, we coach shot selection as much as anything. Now, probably go back, there's probably a couple I didn't necessarily agree with, but that's part of it. But our guys know that we're going to fight for a paint touch, fight for a rotation, fight for a great shot every possession. And I thought overall, we did that second half. I mean, I thought we shot 60%, but when you can play at a pace that we can play at with our depth and being at 7,000 feet, it's not necessarily, you're not going to knock them out in the first 4 rounds. I mean, that's where in those middle rounds, and then now you get to those late rounds and those championship rounds, when you get to the last 10 minutes here at 7,000 feet with our depth and our talent, I mean, that's where hopefully playing at a little bit faster pace will allow us to kind of wear teams down.
So Ethan, Jake, and Max, they combined for like 33, 13, and 11 between the three of them. So what did you like seeing out of that group? I mean, just in terms of depth and then coming off, like
Well, I mean, I think first off is, they're such good kids, and, they, where some transfers, they come in expecting a lot of false hopes and promises, where those guys, they just want to be a part of a really good team, which is what they've been a part of. And that's the beauty of getting guys from a Power 5 program that have been in NCAA tournament games, that have won big games, but also have the humility to understand that there's other guys in the program, and whatever we ask them to do, whether that's to start, whether that's to come off the bench, is that they're gonna, they're gonna accept that. But they also, as I tell them, I mean, every minute's an audition, and when you go out there and if you produce, hey, I mean, make it to where I got no choice to play you. Like the case of Maldo, I mean, I trust Maldo to the nth degree, not just from an offensive standpoint, but from a defensive standpoint. And I think that's the biggest thing when we go back and watch the film. I thought that there was a couple stretches, especially in the first half, with Jake and Max, where I thought we had some breakdowns from a defensive standpoint. But, that's the beauty of having good players, and all three of those guys are very good players, and, they're going to help us win a lot of games.
Coach, fans were stoked to see Hunter Maldonado come back in the offseason, but quietly Hunter Thompson's back too, and he had a great night tonight. What's your assessment of him, and can he do that on a nightly basis?
Well, I hope so. I mean, that's, he's really, I mean, the thing about him being a 6-year guy and a guy that's had his ups and downs here is that he never has any up and downs in terms of his mood or his attitude and his work ethic. I mean, he puts in the time, he shoots shots. We knew that this game, the way that their bigs were, that he was going to get a lot of opportunities to get a lot of pick and pop threes, and so that was an emphasis coming into this game. I told him this is a game where you should make 8 threes, and he made 4. But the challenge for him is, right now is without Graham, and I've told you guys this before. I mean, he's such a better rebounder at the 4 spot, and when he's coming from the perimeter, and there's times where, at the 5 spot when he's against bigger guys, he struggles to rebound, and that's where tonight, even though he got 4 defensive rebounds, 5 total. That's a game where he needed to probably go get 2 or 3 more. But to have a guy that's just completely invested in the team, and regardless of what his role is, he's going to be cheering on everybody. And I mean, that's what allows you to win games, is having guys like him in the program.
What's going on with Wenzel?
He had a little tweak in the weight room. He should hopefully be back. Hopefully by Thursday, just kind of a muscle that's kind of spazzing him a little bit. So it's nothing serious. It's just kind of there's no reason to kind of push it and bring it back. So hopefully we'll have him back Thursday. If not, we'll see what happens.
So Hunter had kind of mentioned something you'd like to see the team improve on is rebounding. Is that something that kind of stuck out to you tonight, and something to kind of work on going forward?
I mean, for us, rebounding is a daily emphasis, and it's a challenge. We struggled when we scrimmaged Colorado on the boards. We're a team that has a lot of length. I mean, sometimes we got size, but we're not necessarily big and bulky. And when you lose Graham, you kind of lose some of that mass. And so, being that we are tall and we are lanky and we are athletic, I mean, we got to be a little bit more physical and aggressive. And I thought our guards did a really good job of rebounding. I told Ethan, he's a guy that should average 5 defensive rebounds a game. He's a 42-inch, 43-inch vertical guy. He's got a really good nose for a ball, and for him to get in there and go get 6 rebounds, that really helped. Max went and got 5. I mean, that's where it's going to have to be a total team effort, especially until we get Graham back. It's going to have to be everybody getting in there, which hopefully is always the case.
Jeff, 50 bench points. Is that something we should get used to seeing?
Well, I mean, that's the beauty of our team, is that, when you come off the bench and you got a guy like Noah Reynolds who can really score the ball, Jake, Max, I mean, you go down the list, Kenny Foster. I mean, people forget Kenny Foster was Mountain West Player of the Week, during his career in Mountain West tournament. He had 20 in a game. And so, it's nice to have a lot of options, and especially right now as the season goes, when I'd like to, maybe some guys playing a little bit more, but right now you're not going to play anybody tired. And as soon as we see somebody just a little bit tired, I mean, it's the next guy in. And there'll be nights where maybe one of those guys off the bench will ride the hot hand. And I think that's the way the season is going to go, is that, hey, maybe this night it's Jake, maybe it's Kenny, maybe it's Max, maybe it's Wenzel, maybe it's X, maybe it's Noah. I mean, to have a bunch of guys that have the capability to score 15 to 20 points in a college game, I mean, that's a luxury that a lot of coaches don't have.
Was it pretty fun to mess with the lineups tonight?
For me, I'm not I really like having a set rotation, and I know that's not going to be the case right now. I'd like to have a little bit more stability from that standpoint, but that's not the case right now, and it probably won't be the case for a little while. But in the meantime, to know that when whoever's coming off that bench, there's no drop-off. I mean, I've never had that luxury to where knowing that, hey, the next guy coming in is, I mean, he's just as good. And so to have that, I think we'll see a lot of that, and I think that's what makes this really tough is the ability to have multiple guys that can come off the bench and score.